So I am so pleased that back in 2015, our ministry leadership here, Harry Quiet, connected me with a man named Martin Brooks of Peace Catalyst. And Peace Catalyst is an organization that works on peacemaking between Muslims and Christians. And so Martin and I met for coffee. Thank you, Harry, so much for the connection. And we began to talk about how our respective organizations could work together. Our organizational values include compassion and diversity. And we began to formulate a plan, and Martin connected me to the American Turkish Friendship Association. So the Turkish Friendship Association and Martin and I planned for an event for our families at our Louisville Family Housing Services that is served by Volunteers for America Mid-States, that we would have a feast together, the Feast of the Sacrifice, which is one of the Muslim holidays. The American Turkish Friendship Association donated an animal for the feeding of our homeless families living in our shelter at Louisville Family Housing Services. And a Christian church was also involved in this project. And so as we planned that project, just a couple of weeks before the meal was going to happen, there was vandalism at a Muslim mosque in our community. And clergy of various faiths came together and denounced the vandalism that was perpetrated upon the mosque members. And the next day, a community gathering with, I would say, thousands of folks showed up from Louisville to show their compassion for a cleanup of the vandalism. And so what I'm learning from this, what I've learned and what I'm learning from this is that in building interfaith relationships, we each find ways to express our faith. You know, God gave us many commandments and then distilled it down to love God and love your neighbor. And loving your neighbor is super easy when they look just like you and they were raised like you with the same belief system. But it really doesn't count for that much because that's easy loving. I like how Mike King says we're in the love business, and I think God has commanded us to love our neighbor. And a part of that is loving the neighbor who is a bit different from us, and not just loving them, but getting to know them, getting to build relationship with them, learning about their holiday observances. And as a part of that, I have attended their iftar meals to break the fast of Ramadan. And so relationships begin to form, you begin to know people as people, find those common interests, those commonalities you can discuss, and you get to know them as people. And I feel like this is a part of the realm of God explodes into its fullest expression when people of different faiths come together and find where we have common alliances. One of the things that we found with the American Turkish Friendship Association is we are able to honor our value and our emphasis upon charity by feeding those who are poor in our community, those who are low income, and using the holiday feast to enhance the physical well-being of the homeless families that we're serving. I find that in following my faith, it has led me to value people who are different from me, but whom in relationship I find those commonalities. I believe that we cannot put God in a box. We cannot limit God's expression of who God is. I think we, in many faiths, agree that God is love, however we perceive God. And when we come together, I think that God's realm is extended in this world. I feel that it's a measure of our faithfulness to get to know people of other faiths, to really dig into their faiths, to try to understand their holidays, their observances, the pillars of their faith. And I feel that there's gain in that. There's an ability for us to express our values and to express our faith in getting to know our neighbors and see them as people, as who are very much like us under the skin and under the differences in how we were raised or what we were raised to believe. We find connection, and really I think God's work in the world is all about connection. God's giving of His Son Jesus is about connection, and I feel that the rest of us can find connection through relationship with people of different faiths.